So we're gonna continue the second part with artist bookings. In us with Anna Krajewska, co-organizers of Ravekjavik Festival, which is transforms abandoned industrial space into cultural hubs. Deep involvement in local grassroots scenes and venues. Co-creator of Young Emerging Artists. Yeah.
Hi, hello.
We support emerging electrophysics artists from Visegrad countries to Ukraine. Christian Winzer, right? Senior booking agent and tour manager von der haardt GmbH, manages international tours and concerts in Berlin, handles personal tech and finance for events. Tour manager for Christian Leffler. Academic achievements like Masters in Modern European History, Event Management, Event Manager degree, Construction Licenses certificate, and co-founder of haardt in Open Air Venue in 2020. My first question will be, what could be an ideal booking strategy for an artist in 2025? Right in the middle.
Yeah, maybe gonna start. Yeah, that's really the difficult question for the beginning. I already had some talks about this today. So I think it depends what artist we are talking about. Like if it's like a new, fresh talent, or if it's like an already established artist. But speaking in general, I think that, of course, I think we also had these answers before. You should, for an artist, you should find the right partners as a first step, like the right management agency, the right booking agency. You should, depends where you are based, you should maybe start in your own city or country, maybe to have your own event, or maybe to have to build a community to be known in your community, maybe to invite artists to your community, so maybe they're gonna invite you as well. You should, I think these days it's important to use analytics, like to analyze, hey, where's my strongest markets? It's easy to find out, I think, like when you're seeing Spotify plays, or like the cities, the locations. And then, of course, when you are a new, fresh talent, you should always try to see if there are any other bigger artists where you could maybe do the support, or yeah, you could do the opening for the show, or there are any music conferences going on, like festivals like Eurosonic, Reeperbahn Festival, Amsterdam Dance Event, where you maybe can show yourself, invite promoters to these events, invite professionals to these events. And for me, as a booking agent in the last step, of course, it's important to find the right promoters in each market. It can be a promoter which is only strong in one city, but it can also be like a bigger company which promotes events for the whole country, for example. And yeah, I think that's like the general strategy, but of course it depends what's the goals of the artist, how he sees himself, and then to find a close connection with him, with the management, and then to see what's the best strategy for him.
Yeah. Sorry. Okay, so I'm gonna answer this from the other side, from the side of the festival, because well, this is what I do. So I'm gonna say, what are we looking at from the artist? What are we expecting from the artist when we want to book someone? So I think the basic for a strategy is to know who you are, because this is the only way we can know who you are. So to be cohesive and to know who you are as an artist, to know who's your target, because then we can check if your target is also our target, and is it our audience. And to also have a strong EPK, I think this is more for an international strategy, international booking strategy. To have a strong EPK with of course the description, the photos, and the videos of your live performance, because it's not always possible to see you live. So to have an EPK with good quality video and audio. Sorry, a little bit stress. So that you can really show us a picture of you that is coherent, that is consistent, and so we know that you fit our festival like perfectly. So this is what I can say from the festival side.
And if we turn the question a little bit even more to the other side, so for example, what can be an ideal booking strategy for a festival or a promoter? Because, for example, in Hungary, we have a lot of clubs, a lot of collectives who would like to invite international artists, smaller, bigger. What can be an ideal strategy for them as an organizer seeing this, or also as a promoter, or an agent of an artist?
So I would say the one you like. Sorry, but in Ravekjavik, we have this strategy. We are picking up mostly the artists we would like to see at our festival. We don't take much applies. I mean, we read all the emails and listen to really all the things that artists are sending us, but we are more likely to have this curating, the program that we are curating. And so we have an idea, and then we are creating a strategy around this idea. For example, this year we are making Ravekjavik Zen, and we are reaching to the artists from Far East. Yeah, am I saying this correctly? Like from Asia. And so we have rules to book the artists who are not only from Asia, but whose music is somehow connected to this kind of music styles. Also, yeah. So yeah, maybe it's not a very very good answer, but just find your character as a place, as a club, as an event, and then book whatever is coherent, you know.
Yeah, I also think so. I think, of course, it depends how the artist sees himself, and then me as an agent, I need to understand what he wants to present. But on the other side, these days, an artist needs to be like a content creator on the other side, I think, and seeing his style, his music, and on the other side, what he like his social media activities, then I have to understand which are the best events where I have to place him. And I think many festivals, like we have lots of them in Europe, they have a very strong focus on certain genres. And then it's my job as an agent to present the artist to the right promoter, to the right festival, and yeah, and also to the right venues in the end. And then if you as an agent understood, or you understand the artist correctly, then I think it's also easier to build like a strategy to start with smaller venues, and then you have showcase festivals, and then the profile is growing, and then you can reach the next steps, and you can also work very creative, and then slowly, I think if everything fits together, the artist is growing, the profile is growing, you can put on more shows and sale, and then I think it's like a, what can I say? It's like a circle itself.
Yeah, I wanted to highlight the fact of that Christian said about the character of the event is defined. I think that nowadays we have so much festivals and so much events that people are really choosing the ones that offers like a full experience. So today, just doing events with some random maybe names or some artists that are around are not gonna last for long. So because people are looking for the whole experience. Also, it makes booking agents' life easier as as we can hear. So if anyone here is interested in making events, I think the curating the events is now really a strong point to be doing.
What do you see about the booking fees nowadays? I think it's a very important question because many clubs are struggling nowadays with the numbers of the guests, with the amount of money what they can afford to spend inside of the club, what the amount of time what they spend inside the club, and because of this, sometimes they also can book international artists much harder. Is there a big gap between like medium artist and like high level artist in price wise, for example, in booking fees?
Yeah, that's a very interesting question because I spoke to many other agencies the last weeks, months, whatever, to many festival promoters, club promoters. I worked for a club in Berlin. I know how difficult it can be to get profit out of it. As you already said, we opened during COVID open air location in Berlin, which was very tough. But so I was aware of the numbers. And I think since the end of the pandemic, we have a big gap between you have very famous artists and the big agencies, they're pushing the fees like crazy. And on the other side, I think many reasons we have like the costs are exploding on the other side, like energy costs for hiring people, inflation, whatever, like normal people, let's say, they don't have that much money anymore than before. And so we can see a gap. And maybe let's speaking about Berlin, I feel the younger generation, we don't have that many people anymore comparing, for example, to my generation, like the numbers of people going to clubs is going down. And on the other side, the ticket price or the entrance fee to enter a club is 2-3 times higher than before. And younger people, especially students, they can't pay anymore. And on the other side, for me as an agent, of course, I have to represent my artist and I have to make sure to get the best result for him. So I have to push fees. But for me, it's always probably, as I'm coming from the club scene, I always try to find the balance so the promoter is hopefully happy and the artist is happy in the end, and that is financially somehow good for both sides. But it's I can't say how it will be in the next years, but I definitely see this can be a big problem in the next years as yeah, we are not getting down the costs, I think, and clubbing, as I said, is getting, or festivals getting more expensive, and as I said, the younger generation will be tough for them to pay these costs.
Yeah, I can agree on everything actually, because I also seen it like from many sides. I think what we can do is to try to be reasonable. Of course, in every area, there's some people that aren't. From what I see in Poland, from one side, I'm making a festival. We are trying to keep our ticket prices affordable, especially that we are a festival that promotes inclusivity in many dimensions. So we don't want to exclude anyone financially, and this is really like a problem now, because music and art experiences are starting to be exclusive because of what Christian said, that one weekend in the city, it's like a small city break, like financially sometimes, if you party hard. And from the other side, I work with a club in Łódź, in my city. I work around the club like with small events, and just like you said, there's much less people in the club. They are spending less. They are going early because they want to sleep well, because this is our generation in the club now. We are getting older, and also there's a trend for rave day raves, like coffee raves, and like partying during the day. So the clubs are struggling, and also I was talking to Clemence, she was in the panel before, and that I'm really surprised that some artists now started to ask us for payment in the moment of the booking. And it was actually a really surprising thing for me. She just laughed at it because it's so normal for her. So I think Poland is maybe a little behind. But yeah, it's from one side I get it, that the artists are struggling too, and everyone is struggling today. We have a crisis, and everyone is trying to just take care of themselves. But yeah, I don't even know how to sum it up. It's hard, but let's be reasonable. Let's remember that we are the ones building this scene, and let's remember where we started. I'm at the start, but there are some bigger festivals or bigger artists that are really taking advantage of the situation. Yeah, we'll see.
We already talked about this question a little bit in the previous panel, but what criteria do you use to sign an artist as an agent, or what criteria is very important for you when it comes to booking an artist to a festival or to a club?
I just wanted to say for the topic before, one last thought from my side. I think for club promoters or clubs or festivals especially, it's very important these days to be creative, to be innovative. I think it's like a few months back, which I found very interesting. There's a club in Berlin, I think everyone knows, called Tresor, and they opened a venue in West Germany, in Dortmund. The venue is called Tresor West, and they are doing a new concept or event series, let's call it, where they are charging no entrance fee. So it's a event for free, and I think they are not posting the lineup, so it's more like a community event, and they want to attract the younger generation there, and they want to invite local people to play. And I think also for festivals, because especially I think festivals struggling to pay the high fees which the big agencies are asking for, also like clubs, you have to be creative. You have to find new ways. Maybe you should always think about how your club looks like. Maybe you can change the room somehow, that when people are coming to your club, that they feel, oh, it's super nice, or the festival is super nice. They put so much love inside, so much energy inside, that people are thankful for this. And then they I mean, in the end, it's also like a storytelling. They tell it to their friends and spread the word. And maybe next year they will come with even more friends, or next time they will come with even more friends to the club. So I think in these days, it's not, you should try to find a connection to your audience. It's not like we are the club, we have to earn money, this is our audience, and that's it. Let's find new ways, include your local community, and then hopefully you will attract as most people, or as many people as possible, and especially also younger people, to come to the club. And hopefully this works out.
So, what criteria do you use to sign an artist or to book an artist?
Oh yeah, about the strategy. I actually said a little bit about it earlier. With Ravekjavik, we also have some kind of a theme every year. So we are, let's say it that way. The stats aren't that important for us, which is not a common thing, maybe. We are on the market for like 9 years, and maybe the last 2-3 years we had some, well, let's say headliners, like the bigger names, because of course we want to attract maybe more audience. But with the headliners, we are looking at the stats. We know they can bring us maybe some new audience, but still the stats aren't that as important as our vision. So we have some vision for the concrete editions, and we are trying to just curate that and make the booking around it. And also from the beginning, the thing that is like the base of our booking strategy, and it was actually a fact because before it was a rule. It's I don't remember the word in English. It's the 50-50, like male and female artists on our lineup. The parity, yeah, it's in English, yeah. So yeah, we book.
Gender equality.
Yeah, gender equality is nice. Yeah, thank you. So yeah, we did that. It was all natural for the lineup team and for the festival people from the beginning, and then it became a thing that it's important to do that. So we were like, yeah, we are doing this, and now we are promoting this because it should be normal. It should not have to be promoted that it's around 50-50, that it's not male dominated, because in general in Poland, in the electronic music scene, it used to be a really strongly male dominated scene, and it's changing now. So yeah.
For me, how we choose artists for our agency, I think we have a very clear vision of our agency, which artists we want to work with. We are very focused on electronic live music, contemporary music, and we call it neoclassic music. Some artists are not happy about this wording, but of course, the artists, when new artists are reaching out to us, or we are reaching out to artists, they should be in this, let's say, genre of music. What else is for me important is that I always try to see them live before I make a decision to work with these artists. Then, of course, this artist, I think we never worked with any artist before who doesn't has a management. That's really important for us. I mean, that's back to the first topic, because we believe to create a clear vision together with the artist, making long-term plans, like 1, 2, 3 years, how you see yourself in 2, 3 years, whatever. You should have a management behind, and ideally the artist, the management, and we are in the same position or on the same vision. Of course, these days it's important to have some social media content, followers on social media, which is also important for us. It doesn't need to be a huge account, or it doesn't need to have like thousands of followers, but at least there should be like something going on. I think in German we say it's a Grundrauschen, like something is like, yeah, there's something. As I said, the live performance should be really good. And one last thing I think from my side is that in the end, it's still somehow a feeling that I see or feel something when especially when I join the live show or see the live show. I think that's everything everyone in the audience can agree to this. Like when you see an artist and you really like this artist, you can, there's this special feeling about that you want to follow this artist, want to follow his story somehow. And that's same, I think, with me as an agent. I need to have like a certain feeling with this artist.
Yeah, maybe I will just add that, of course, I was talking about a scenario we were thinking about and how we try to curate it. So it's all, so it all fits together, but at the end, it's the music, right? That it's most important, the music that we like when we choose the lineup. It's that simple still, yeah.
How important is it when it comes to, for example, a DJ, that they have releases that they also produce? Because I think nowadays there are so many DJs, but not everyone is producing their own stuff.
I mean, we as an agency, we only work with live musicians or live and producers, of course. So I'm not representing any DJ, but as speaking about DJs itself, I know there are a few ones around who are not producing any music at all. I think Ben UFO is one of the most famous ones. I'm not sure, but there are like a few ones outside. But I think most of all DJs who wants to play on an international level, I think somehow they have to start to produce their own music, and then probably they gonna do their own label, which is common in the DJ scene. But I would say it's important also to present you as an artist, what genre you want to present.
Yeah, I would agree. It's necessary at one point to become a producer. And there are a few artists who are not, but really a few ones. But still, at Ravekjavik, for example, we have like part live shows, part DJ sets. Of course, the DJs also are playing their music, but this is not a criteria for us, that we are not gonna pick someone who's just a DJ, who's not a producer yet. So of course there's a space to develop yourself as a DJ first, but I think that still producing is always the next step.
Yeah, and I think you can be a producer, but you can also be a DJ. Many years back, I was there was an interview from DJ Koza, and he said in this interview he's just producing music for himself and to release that music, and that people can listen to his music. And he plays very rarely his own productions, and people always ask him like, hey, can you play your own track, and he is always like, no, I'm a DJ and producer. It's something different for me. As a producer, I want to present my musical vision, and as a DJ, I want to, yeah, get the crowd and transport like energy and yeah, have a good party. But this is something completely different for him. So you not always have to produce tracks which you want to play on the dance floor, but I think most of the DJs/producers are doing this, of course.
On which platforms do you look for new artists? Which platforms are you looking for new artists, or which platform you're like systematically using, or just like finding?
So I think I would say we are trying to be just up to date with what's happening through social media, through Spotify. Yeah, I really hate to say this, but I think social media is like most likely on social media is most likely to find some fresh and new talents, because just searching for Spotify is quite hard, or maybe some YouTube, but social media of different collectives or on different parties, different events. I think this is how, yeah.
Yeah, I agree. Of course, we have partners, promoters, management agencies who are reaching out to us, and yeah, who are gonna send us information about new artists they probably took over, or they just sent over information about new artists, and which is cool. I really like that way. Sometimes it's also the other way around. We have managers or management companies we are working close with. We see that they added new artists, so we reach out to them and ask them for more information. And then it's the traditional way. The good thing I think in our business is, hey, go out, see shows, and sometimes I really like to, when friends invite me to some shows and I check the lineup and I don't know any of these artists, then sometimes I don't listen to any music of them before. I just go there and see them live, and can make my own picture without knowing, okay, maybe this artist before, it's not my taste of music or something. It's more like, hey, I just go there, see their shows, and then I can make my own picture. And as I said, it's the good thing about our business, and I think especially doesn't matter if you are a DJ, if you are a promoter, if you're a booking agent, management agent, you always have ideally many contacts to get guest lists, whatever, and to see many shows and to discover new artists, which you really should do. I can really recommend.
When you get some recommendation or someone reaches out to you, does it matter who the person is, or like does it matter like who recommends a new artist to you, or you gonna listen the artist anyway? Or you, if someone is recommend the artist, do you already have some picture before, because okay, some huge manager recommended, or your local friend?
Yeah, this is very like psychological question. Of course, if there's someone who's trusted or who was really great at cooperation before, and he's the one recommending me someone, I will have like a lot of trust from the beginning. But still, it's a feeling you might have at the beginning. At the end, let's be still like the most objective that we can be, and let's give every artist a try, even if introduced by not a very trusted person.
Yeah, I agree. I think if an important partner reached out to you with a new artist, of course you what can I say? You check the information more careful, then you are just getting a random email of a new artist and he just represents himself. But I can fully agree on this. You should try to be objective, as much as possible, and always to give a chance to every artist and to listen to his music, and to, even if you don't see any future cooperation with him, then at least to give him an answer and to tell him, hey, sorry, that's maybe like, at least to give him 1 or 2 points, like, hey, sorry, maybe it doesn't fit to our agency because the music you are doing, that's a bit different than we are representing, and that should at least be the minimum we should do.
What do you think? Shall an artist first grow by himself, or it's better to get an agent as soon as possible? Or is there a level where it's okay, now you must have an agent?
It all depends on the artist and the situation of his music, the country he's in. So it all depends. If there's an artist, like most of you are self-managed at first, I think having a manager is a great kick, but I wanted to say maybe some kind of rule, but it's really hard for me to think about it because it's really, really different for everyone. Self-managed first, but maybe not for too long, not to take your focus out of what's the most important for you, and the most important for artists is their art. So if you are in this process of doing everything but your music, maybe this is the time to have someone else to help you with some promotion and the strategies, and to help you with the more like organization and searching for bookings, etc., etc. So you can really focus on your music, because this is what's most important. Maybe this is what I would.
Sorry, I add one more thing to the question. Do you think it's better to get a local management? Because, if you are not on that level that you can get someone international agency or international agent, is it better to start with someone local who, for example, doesn't have the connection to international venues, international promoters, or you should self-promote yourself to that level to have an agent who can help you to have the next step?
It's a really good question. I thought about this question a lot already the last years, because I think in the electronic music scene, I think I would say 90% of all artists, they have a booking agency first, and then they have a management agency, because they start to play, and then somehow, let's say, they get like a bit of a hype or whatever, like the number of shows is constantly growing, and then they are reaching a certain point where they can't handle the whole logistics around anymore, because more and more shows coming in, more and more promoters reaching out, asking for shows. You have to speak about the deal, whatever, about your fee, etc. And then it's always the same, that the artist is like, okay, I have to look for a booking agency, which I understand and I see the point. But when this hype is over, when you're like, let's say you played 1, 2, 3 years on a very good level with like having shows of like every weekend you are playing at least 2 shows to 3 shows, whatever. After 2 or 3 years, this hype probably will be over. And then I see a lot of, especially DJs or electronic musicians, that they don't have any solution how they would like to continue with their career, because the hype was created somehow outside of their let's say bubble, and they played many shows, and they played maybe like cool music which is hyped at the moment, but then they don't know how to develop this hype they have further, and they're just reaching a point, and from this level, or like a level, and then from this level it's hard to go to the maybe to the next level to reach like a wider audience then, or maybe the number of shows is going down because maybe the music or like the interest in this music changed a bit, like new artists are coming up, maybe the younger generation is interested in a new kind of music, and then these artists starting to struggling. And then that's why I come back to this question. I always thought like maybe it's better to look for a management first, to have like really like a clear vision together, what you want to do, how you want to present yourself, and then probably to look for a booking agency. And I think also in the beginning, a good management, they can also handle your bookings. I mean, they can also speak to the promoters and making the deals, whatever. And if you should have a local management or like an international management agency, I can't give an answer on this. I think it's important, as I said, that the manager really understands you as an artist, and of course understands the music industry in general, like how like a label deal looks like, or that he has or she has many contacts to magazines, to labels, to publisher, whatever. And you can have a good local management, you can have a strong international management. It depends. It also depends where your approach is, or where you want to go. I mean, some artists are very interested to play many shows in US, for example. Then maybe it's better to have a management in US because they know the market much better than maybe a European management. But it depends.
I would agree that the management first is something I would recommend too. But I also know many artists who are self-managed, and they are creating their strategy real fine at the beginning. But about the local or international management or international booker, it all depends on your goals. I think in Poland, mostly I would recommend to have a local management first, because every country has a specific market, and it's natural to grow first in your home market and then expand internationally, like even it was said in the first panel. Because at the beginning, as an artist, you also gain your experience. You see what's more for you, what's not. What's your strength? Is it live shows? Is it maybe more like releases? I don't know. Like, you discover yourself actually during the journey. I think at the beginning, you don't know at the beginning like who you are in the core most of the times. Of course, there are exceptions. Like, there are artists who are not suitable at all for their country markets because they're making music, Latin music, or rap reggae music in Hungary, which is really hard to promote in Hungary. So if their country, like the direction is, for example, Spain or some Latin countries, it's better to think about international booker at first, maybe. But still, you have to know that. So a manager, a professional manager, if you can afford that, or if you can handle that, or is there anyone interested? Perfect. If no, even maybe some friend of a colleague who can just support you through the process of figuring out. I'm talking about really emerging artists now, because not everyone has a chance to have a manager at the start, you know.
What do you think? How an artist can be successful in that sense, that they get invitation back many times to the same event, same festival, same club? Or do you see a trend in that there are some artists who are playing often in one venue, or in some places when they go international, then they just go once a year to a certain country? Or what do you see in this trend, like, worldwide?
So of course there are residents in the clubs, and they are playing really, really often. And in one club, I mean, they are residents. So how to? I'm not sure if it was the question, how to do it, or how to make it like as a success. Whatever you do it well. Wherever you are, even if it's a small club, even if there's really not a lot of people there in the audience, like 5, because you're opening, you know, always leave the best impression you can leave, and hopefully you can come back there, or someone in the audience is a booker and you can go somewhere else. From my experience, in Ravekjavik, we don't repeat the artist in the lineup, with exceptions, because we also have one resident, like ambassador. We call her ambassador. And I actually, there are many ways. This is how we do it at Ravekjavik. I also work at the other festival, in which it's called Labyrinth, and there we actually repeat local DJs a lot, which is also great, because they are our local DJs. We would like to support them, and the audience love them, and the audience is coming to hear them, not only the headliners. So I see many different tendencies.
Yeah, I think it's also back to the topic we had in the beginning. I think if you are like a new artist, a fresh artist, emerging artist, yeah, I mean, let's try to build your own community, get a name in your city, invite people, invite friends, invite other artists you like or you want to see them play, and then probably they're gonna invite you too, and then hopefully your career slowly starting, and then, as I said, you can do some showcase festivals, Eurosonic, Amsterdam Dance Event, Reeperbahn Festival, and then having the right partners, the right agencies, the right promoters, your profile is growing, and then you can starting to play the first shows outside of your country, international, and then making waves, like doing a good job on social media, but also I think still doing many things like during your shows, like if you are doing concerts, you can always hang out with your people after the show. You can maybe sell the merch personally and not someone else selling the merch. You are doing this, so people can speak to you and or maybe take pictures with you, whatever. And yeah, always try not to only build the fan base on social media, but also in the real world. And then I think your profile is growing.
And what do you think if someone is not on the merging tendencies, but talking about a professional one who is at their peak time, how they can extend that peak time? For example, in sense of amount of the booking fee. Is there a strategy to it?
Yeah, I think when speaking about bigger names, bigger artists, well-known artists, I think me as an agent, I have to push it forward. I have to give my best to find more shows, to find more festivals, to have new ideas, which places we can play, maybe to do some special shows, some special projects. For example, like electronic artists, what we are doing is like to put them also like in classical venues, like Christian Löffler, he played the Philharmonie in Berlin as a special show to attract like a wider audience, maybe also to attract older people somehow. I think the management agencies, they have exactly the same job, sharing new ideas, creating new ideas, be innovative, and the artist itself, he needs to continue to produce good music, which reaches these days like which gets a big audience on Spotify or Apple Music or Amazon Music. And he also, most of the artists, they need to continue to play the social media game and to have new ideas there, how they can present themselves and to get some views. And then I think all in all, you can still continue as an big artist, and you can still play many shows if you are still creative, and if you are still be interesting to the people and not boring.
So as a closure, what would be your advice to emerging artists to get booked to a festival or to get an agent?
Do your work. Do what you want to do. Do it like with consistency and just keep showing up. I know it sounds really like some kind of motivation page on Instagram, but this is actually it. This is the essential. We won't see your live show by accident if there won't be a live show. So if you only had the opportunity to show yourself, to show your art, to show your music, is it through live performance, through opening act, or through social media, just go for it, because often these are really accidents. You know how we find new music. Of course, we do the research, but sometimes it's just the accident or fate. So just keep showing up.
I also fully agree, but we also had this topic before, and I think it was also in the first panel. I mean, everyone says like, hey, be yourself and do your own thing and don't copy things and whatever. But in the end, I mean, if I would be a new artist, I can also just use the tools every other artist use, like Spotify, Apple Music, Instagram, TikTok. And I think, especially as a new artist, it's also okay to check out maybe the artists you like, or like you as an artist, you are also like a fan of bigger names, I guess, and you're getting like some ideas probably from them as well. And I think, to be honest, it's okay maybe also if you're doing things in a way similar, maybe not from an artist which is maybe musically similar to you, but I think it's good to always to check, hey, how other artists promote their shows, or how other or what other artists do on social media to attract the audience. I think it's fine, because always to tell younger people, especially when they're in their early 20s, hey, be yourself, you need to have your own vision. I mean, in the beginning of 20s, I mean, I'm not sure if you already know who you are and what you want to do for the next 30, 40 years, whatever. So it's okay to get some influence and also to check out other artists. And but in the end, of course, you should always feel that this is also your own way and not just copy and paste.
It is the way of learning, simply.
Thank you. Does anyone have some question? No. So then we're gonna have a 10 more minutes break, and then we're gonna continue with the listening session. Thanks.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.